actually sitting down and work with me. Only
1-2.
how houses I've ever destroyed.
1-2.
Yeah. Thank you. But like the one thing you get to go out the house. Oh, okay, let me put this stuff on. To being in the house in my pajamas on for work. Get too comfortable. You're able to work? I am. I'm getting too comfortable. I didn't mind it in the beginning, but yeah, we talk phone yeah. We were supposed to work doing every other day. Because it's just easier for me to do it. What I'm told. But you probably get a lot done on Friday too because a lot of people on that's usually the case. Like when nobody else is there, you get a lot of stuff done. Yeah. It's like when it's like vacations and Christmas and all of that. You take off because everybody is taking off. I can get a lot done. I know it's not Zoom. Exactly. It's not Zoom. It's like, oh, I have to text somebody. Hey, it's like the color purple. How are you? No, my boss is Ashley and Amir. Okay, Charlie. Okay. Check.
It's getting mad. Yeah, it drives me nuts. Because I'm over here looking at you and I'm like, is that her? And I said, I'm going to say something anyway. And if I'm wrong, whatever. I'm good. I tell you, it's something else. Everything going all right? That's good. You know, it's one thing after the other. I know. And then you have to get the one. I said, you have to get the one that's going to fit now, right?
I don't know what I can do. I can get it out.
And everybody wants to.
Show some love. Yeah. Come on, we can do better than that. Give it up for Stephanie Jacob. Let's keep the good times rolling. Here we go. Even when there's no one sitting there, but a cherish not a house, and a house is not a home without two of us, far apart and one bus. In my heart. It's still a room. Even when there's nothing there but blue. But a room is not a house, and a house is not a home when I'm not the stairs. Turn the key, oh baby, please be there, saying that you're still in love with me. Now and then I call your name, suddenly your face appears like it's just a crazy game, and when it ends, it ends pretty darling, have a heart. Don't let these little mistakes keep us apart. I'm not lazy to live alone. Turn this house into a home when I'm not the same. And turn the key, oh baby, please, saying that you're still in love. I was not made to live alone. So this house into a good. When I'm upstairs, turn the key, baby, please be there, saying that you're still in love. I said, still in love. Still in love with midnight. Yeah. Are you gonna be in love with me? I want you and need you to be, yeah, still in love with me. Yeah. Are you gonna be, so you're gonna be in love with me, and only me, yeah, are you gonna be? So you gonna be? Are you gonna be? So you gonna be? Are you gonna be? So you gonna be? Well, still in love, so in love with you. Are you gonna be in love with me? Are you gonna be still in
Good afternoon, everyone. If we could take our seats, please, and as you move to your seats, can we give the Barclay Contemporaries another round of applause? What a fabulous way to start off this afternoon's festivities. We're going to do our best to make sure that we move expeditiously through a wonderful program celebrating one of our newest council members. So if we can all take our seats, please. Good afternoon, constituents and friends of the 22nd District of the New York City Council. Yes, give yourselves a round of applause. My name is Dr. Stacey N.C. Grant, and I have the humble privilege of being your MC for today's program. My one fan in the audience, thank you. We were holding our breath, wondering if we would be able to gather together safely for this event. So we are very excited that we followed COVID protocols to be able to sit here in our anchor institution at York College. Let's give God a round of applause for allowing this moment to happen. As we begin this program, we're going to ask the president of this great institution to come forward to bring us greetings, Dr. Benicia Eads. Please receive her with a warm welcome. Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of the Chancellor, the faculty, the staff, and most importantly, the students of York College, welcome to our York College atrium. We are so happy to have you here. As you all know, we are of the community, with the community, working with the community at all times, and we're so happy to be a part of this inauguration and hope to be a part of many more. What I will say to you is today, as you sit in this atrium, please take a moment to understand how important CUNY is to this city and how important your college is to this community. If you should know a student or a family that we should be helping, please let us know. Our doors are open and we are here for you at all times. I want to congratulate our wonderful, wonderful and talented Nantasha. What I tell my students is there's a very short walk between where you were to where you want to go. And this fabulous leader has many things ahead of her, but right now, she's going to lead right now for this district, for Jamaica Queens. And as the president of York College, I am more than proud to support her and support her team, and I am grateful for the community to be inside the walls of the college today. Again, on behalf of CUNY, the Chancellor, the faculty, the staff, and more importantly, our wonderful students, welcome to York College. Enjoy. Thank you so much, Dr. Eads, and it truly is a pleasure being here. As we proceed, we will now receive Boy Scouts of America, Troop 263, right here from Queens Village, presenting the color guard.
Good morning. Troop 263, attention. Troop 263, march on march. Forward march. Troop 263, ho. Right face. Everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Those who are not in uniform, put your hands over your heart. Those who are, salute. Pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. 2. May be seated. You may remain standing. Stand again for the national anthem.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the lifting skies. There is now as we sing a song full of the hope that the darkness destroys. Sing a song full of the hope that the presence grows. Facing the rising sun. A new day begun. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea.
Troop 263, right face. Troop 263, mark time, march. Troop 263, forward, march.
Let's sing Troop 263 one more time as you take your seat. Now we will continue our program with blessing the event. We know that our councilwoman is a woman of faith and understanding how important it is to be led and guided as she takes on this task to serve the 27th district of New York City. We will have prayers offered up by Reverend Stephen Green first, followed by Iman Musa, Candice Satan, and Rabbi Zev Brenner. Can they please join me on the podium at this time in that order? Reverend Stephen Green.
Let us assume the posture of prayer. To the universal spirit that guides and directs us. Of the many names that we call you, we say thank you. We pause on this sacred day, in the beginning of Black History Month, to honor and to celebrate your servant, the one who was chosen like Queen Esther, to stand up and speak truth to power for a time such as this. We thank you for Nantasha Williams, our councilwoman, our she warrior, our freedom fighter, who has come to serve this district for a time such as this. We ask, oh God, that you would cover her, that you would keep her, that you would keep her spirit, keep her mind, keep her body, keep her soul, as the weapons of warfare intend to stand against her and the city of New York. That you would stand up inside of her as the warrior of truth, as the love warrior. That she will stand and speak truth to power when any mayor intends to make the city of New York a police state, that she will stand up and speak truth to power. When there's any opposition that comes to stand up and intends to deny the right to vote to all persons, that God, you will stand up inside of her like Fannie Lou Hamer and remind her that we are sick and tired of being sick and tired. We ask, O Divine One, that whenever she's faced with opposition from those who would try to bring us back to the days of stop and frisk and broken windows policies, oh God, that you would stand inside of her and remind her, oh God, that we will not going to let anybody turn us around. And we need fearless warriors in the city council. We need those who are not afraid to stand up to corporate interests. We need those who are not afraid to stand up to bigotry. We need those who are not afraid to stand up to racism and sexism. And God, we know that Nantasha Williams is a servant, that she's a soldier, that she's a spokesperson for love. She's a spokesperson for truth. And God, we know that she will lead us to the promised land, to the days where justice will roll down like waters and righteousness like a mighty stream. We say Ashe and Amen.
Ashe, Reverend Reed, thank you so much. We will now have another blessing by Iman Musa.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالصبر آمين. In the name of the Creator, most giving, most compassionate, praise be to God, the cherisher and sustainer of all the worlds. Most giving, most compassionate, master and creator of the day of judgment. You do we worship. In your aid we seek. Show us the straight way, the way of those whom you have bestowed your grace, those whose portion is not your anger, and who go not astray. By the token of time, through the ages, truly, humankind is lost, except such as have faith and do righteous deeds, and join together in the mutual teaching of truth, patience, and constancy. We ask the Almighty Creator to guide our beloved Sister Natasha Williams on a straight path, to help her uplift this city, to bring the necessary things that we need to have here in Queens. I've known this young sister for maybe 8 years, and I know that she can carry the torch. The mantle has been passed to her from our beloved former Councilman Ida Miller. I know that she has the passion and the wherewithal to make Queens a better place for us to live. I ask each of you all to assist her in any manner that we possibly can, to stand by her side, to stand in front of her, to stand behind her back, to make sure she can get her mission done. Thank you. Amen.
Thank you, Imam. And now we will have a Hindu blessing by Pandit Sitan.
Namaste, my dear loving brothers and sisters. Assalamu alaikum. Pleasant good evening. Shalom. Today we are here to assemble to give an invocation for our Reverend Councilmember Nantasha Williams, who was elected as New York City Council member of the 27th District, our district. I ask of all of us to bow our heads as we pray to the Divine Lord to shower her His utmost blessings for great leadership in our community. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada. O Lord of the universe, we are gathered in your sight to congratulate Nantasha Williams and to obtain your divine blessings to guide her. She is a representative of one of the most poorest areas in Southeast Queens, O Lord, today as we gather. She is the winner out of the 10 candidates to take this honorable position to serve. The Honorable Nantasha Williams has recognized that we need her leadership. She's committed to bridge the gap between the government and the community, which has long been lacking for the longest while. She is dedicated to serve the youth and the elderly equally. We know that Nantasha will use her experience that she had developed while in her service in crisis management to help our community. Today we are here to pray for her great leadership as we look up to her to guide and to protect us all. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. May peace be upon all of us. Amen.
Thank you so much. And now we're going to have our last blessing of this afternoon by Rabbi Zev Brenner.
I ask all of us here today to please join me as one, with one heart, one spirit, whatever our religious background, for a moment of prayer and reflection. Avinu Sheva Shemayim, O God, God of our ancestors, as we stand here today at this very special occasion, the inauguration of New York City Councilmember Nantasha Williams, a hard-working community leader, social justice advocate, and political organizer, committed to effecting real change in our community, joined together with other distinguished public servants and guests. Oh, we pray to you, Heavenly Father, to give us strength and give strength and counsel to Ms. Williams and all our leaders, and to endow her and them with wisdom to make the right decisions, the right choices, to have the courage to face the difficult tasks before them, as well as the ability to bring peace and comfort to us. We call upon you, Almighty God, to end the darkness of COVID, and that it be your will to let the light of healing penetrate the darkness until the darkness itself becomes light and there's no longer division between the two, as is written in the book of Genesis. And there was evening and there was morning one day. Extend the protective shield to our brothers and sisters in Israel who yearn for peace, yet daily face the scourge of terrorism and need our support and love and concern. With so much strife in the world today, so many dangers facing so many, we're concerned as to our well-being here in New York. We turn to you, Almighty God, whose name is also Shalom, which means peace, and ask for your blessings of peace for all of us, and peace and serenity, with love and mercy. Upon Councilmember Natasha Williams, as she embarks on her new journey of public service to Queens and beyond. In the words of the psalmist, I lift my eyes onto the heavens. From where comes our help? Our salvation comes from the Almighty Creator of heaven and the earth. And even as we ask for your blessings of peace, we recognize the challenges that we face as your partners to implement good in this world, to act accordingly and work towards more harmonious times. Oh God, grant life and goodness for Councilmember Williams and for all of us. Shelter her and us with kindness. Bless her and us with tranquility at all times and all seasons. We praise you, God, whose blessings is of peace. Oseh shalom v'roma, uyasa shalom aleinu. May God, who makes peace from on high, give us peace and let us all answer, Amen.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you to all of our clergy assembled here, understanding that prayer is what helps pave the way for all of the work to go through. So we appreciate the time that you took to be here on this auspicious occasion. As we continue with our program, so many helped to make today possible, and we're going to be acknowledging special individuals throughout the program. But at this time, I'd like to ask the members of the transition team to stand as your name is called as they work to bridge all of the information and resources as our councilwoman has taken her place to serve this district. Frank Joseph, Amar Abadi, Jamila Pringle Deans, can you all stand wherever you are because they're still working. Kenya Townsend, Tarika Morrison, we can applaud, Avery Jones, Jermaine Smith, Manny Kaufman, Peter Morrison, Deloney Plummer, Philippa Carteron, Jason Clark, Jonathan Logan, Julianne Hoffenberg, Emil Washington, and Mindy. Can we all give them a round of applause? A phenomenal transition team and myself. We also had an advisory committee who gave their time and wisdom as the transition happened. Can you please stand as your name is called? Assemblywoman Elisa Hyman, Melba Miller, Dory Davis, Angel Vasquez, Angela Pinto, Ike, Terry Banks, Karima Cameron, Jamila Davis, Candace Fortin, and Destiny. Can we give them a round of applause where they are? And then saying yes to his public service, an amazing staff has been assembled to help our council member do her due diligence in serving this community. So let's welcome her staffers, Ashley Meza, Everton Smith, and Dave Brown, Anne-Marie Barnett, Rasha Kadir, and Kate Fitton. Thank you so much. So we are going to move along with a wonderful performance. We have talent throughout the district that will be highlighted in today's program. Our young people truly are our future. At any moment we can celebrate them and see their talents is a blessing for the district. So our first performance for this afternoon will be by the Silta Dance Group. Let's give them a round of applause.
Nan, listen, I am Nan. This is my district, 27, a city regarded as a distinct unit because of particular characteristics. Nan, listen, I am Nan, a city within myself, 27. In my city, there are 7 lights. When lit, they empower me. They empower me to dance. I dance at Esota, ESOTA. From Laurelton to downtown Jamaica, thousands of District 27 babies have grown at Esota. Esota empowered me to dance, and dance empowers me to live, to heal, to feel, to be free. Nan, listen, sis, you were there, you know, in the words of Tyler Scott, it's that live legend sound. You know how queens get women. Nan, And listen, I am Nan. This is my district, 27, a city regarded as a distinct unit because of particular characteristics. Nan, listen, I am Nan, a city within myself. Nan, listen, I am Nan. This is my district, 27, a city regarded as a distinct unit because of particular characteristics. Nan, listen, I am Nan, a city within myself, 27. In my city, there are 7 lights. When lit, they empower me. They empower me to dance. I dance at Esota, ESOTA. From Laurelton to downtown Jamaica, thousands of District 27 babies have grown at Esota. Esota empowered me to dance, and dance empowers me to live, to heal, to feel, to be free. Nan, listen, sis, you were there. You know, in the words of Tyler God, it's that live legend sound. You know how Queens gets down? You gotta land here when you fly through. You can't do this Queens thing like I do. I've graduated from Howard University. HU. I've been to Berkeley, George Mason, SUNY Purchase, Juilliard, Alvin Ailey, Dance Theater of Harlem. I've danced abroad, learned traditional Chinese dance. Ah, shut-up. Nan, listen, I am Nan. This is my district, 27, a city within itself, a vibrant city of wellness. We come forth and shine. Nan, listen, sis, this is your district, a city within itself, and you have the power. Let's heal this city together. Welcome.
We can do better than that for our young people. Great job, Isabel. And now we're going to hear from some of our elected officials who have joined us. And in order to make sure we move along, they know that we time our talks for just a few minutes because they love me and they know that we're going to move along quickly, but their presence means a lot today, in all seriousness, and we can't do the work we do without a collaborative effort throughout all of the leadership, not only here in Queens, New York, but throughout the state. So it gives me great pleasure to welcome U.S. Majority Leader Chuck Schumer. As he smiles and we're coming forward.
Thank you, Doctor. And every one of the elected officials has given me their time, half hour. Anyway, it's great to be here. First, I want to say those 2 young ladies, really, they were incredible. They deserve another round of applause. And I want to first, I guess I'm the first one up here, I want to say to my good friend Nantasha Williams, congratulations, you've made it. So to the distinguished clergy, my colleagues in government, and most of all of you out here today. And so many of you knocked on doors, got out the vote for Nantasha, made phone calls. Congratulations to all of you. If you helped her get elected, raise your hands. And then one more shout out, I don't know if he's here, but I was very close friends. His cousin ran my good part of my office for a while, Denise Miller. So if he's here, there you are. We're going to miss you when you're gone. Anyway, it's great to be here. Now, it's a great day in a lot of ways. First, it's a great day for Nantasha. You know, she was born in Saint Martin, Haiti. Came to this country as a young woman. Well, let me just say this. Can I tell you what they did? my staff. They gave me the speech I gave last week for Mercedes. You didn't go to Tilden High School. You're not an RN. And you're not from Haiti. But I still wish you bonne chance. Okay, today's a great day for Natasha, even though she's not from Haiti. Let me just say this, Natasha, you worked hard your whole life. You struggled in this to come here. No one put a silver spoon in your mouth. You got here the hard way, as we say in Brooklyn. You've earned it. It's a great day for you. It's a great day for your family. Will Natasha's family please raise their hands? Greater family, thank you. Every one of us, oh, that has never happened to me. Every one of us knows how our family has helped us. I tell the story, Natasha, my daughter had a 5th grade birthday. He's bringing up the real speech. Too late. I'm just freelancing. My daughter had her 50-year-old birthday party. A church called up. Con Ed had shut off their lights. And there was an Easter pageant. They were all lined up outside. It was cold. I rushed over. I spent 3 hours arguing with the Con Ed man, got the lights turned on. They got to see their Easter pageant. But my daughter, I never showed up at my daughter's birthday. She's now 33. She still reminds me of it. Our families have to put up with us, but then they always have our backs. So a little while back, I was talking to someone. I sort of vaguely recognized him. My wife is pulling at my suit jacket. What are you doing, dear? I'm talking to the man. Don't you recognize him? She said, he insulted you 15 years ago. So it's a great day for our families. They have our backs. It's a great day for this wonderful councilmanic district. I know the district well. It is a diverse district in many different ways, but the people want service and help. They're struggling to either stay in the middle class if they've gotten there, or getting to the middle class if they're trying to climb up there. And they need the right kind of help to bring them the city services that are so vital to our lives. They have a great person in Natasha Williams in getting that done. It's a great day for Natasha and for the members of this district. And finally, folks, here's the part I don't need any notes for. It's a great day for the United States of America. You know, on cold November nights, we line up in quiet dignity at the polling place. After getting off the subway, getting off the bus, people want to go home. Serve dinner to the kids. Sit in your favorite chair, watch your favorite TV show. But no, we line up in dignity. We go into the polling booth. We do our duty. And then the next morning, as the history of America has shown, until very recently, we abide by the result. Now, right now, there are people in Washington who don't want to abide by that result. Shame on them. They're the same people who want to take voting rights away. And you know, it's a long struggle to get to voting rights. When this country was founded, in most states, you had to be a white, male, Protestant property owner to vote. Stand up here if you could have voted. None of us. So it's been a struggle. And we are in the midst of that struggle right now. Right now. But I tell a story that shows you why I feel that we will succeed in that struggle. And that's the story I tell about Benjamin Franklin, which the elected officials have heard, but many of you have not. And that is this. The day after they wrote the Constitution, a leading lady of Philadelphia went over to Dr. Franklin and she said, what have you gentlemen created in there? And she pointed to Constitution Hall. And he said to her, we've created a republic if you can keep it. Now, what did he mean by that? What were they worried about? They were worried about a whole lot of things. But the two things that they worried most about were these. First,
would the public participate in this democracy? They knew we were all busy with our jobs, our families, the ups and downs of life that God visits on every one of us. They knew we were busy. Wouldn't we participate? But second, they worried about who would run for office. They worried that the people who would put themselves forward to be just for themselves, for money, for power, for ego. They called them in those days scoundrels. We got plenty of them around today. But let's look at this beautiful auditorium this afternoon. The best antidote to what the bad things going on in Washington. Is the public participating? This room is full with people of all different backgrounds and beliefs and occupations and families coming together because they believe in you. And have we elected someone who's just so-so? Oh no, we've elected one of our best. So if Benjamin Franklin were looking down on this auditorium today, Nantasha, he'd smile. He'd say, this is the democracy we wanted, citizen participation and strong elected officials who can't be bought off are the antidote to all the evil going on today. So it's a great day. Great day for Nantasha, great day for her family, great day for this great council district, and a great day for the United States of America. May God bless them all. And may God bless Mercedes and Narcisse.
Let's thank our Senator Schumer once again. Truly one of a kind. We can do better. He advocates for us day in and day out, taking the hard hits for our community. So we thank him for taking the time to be here with us today. Next, we will hear from our Congressman, Gregory W. Beeks, as he comes in and places his coat down. We're so excited that he is able to join us today. Another hardworking public servant, no stranger to District 27. Let's put our hands together for Congressman Beeks.
I'm gonna show everybody how smart I am. I just saw the mayor come in, I'm going to sit down.
Thank you, Congressman, because our mayor made adjustments in his schedule so that he could get here today, and we do want to give him that opportunity. So for the first time that I get to introduce here in District 27, the mayor of New York City, my friend, Eric Adams. Let's give our mayor a round of applause.
Thank you so much, and I just remember running up and down Jamaica Avenue, spending time with Denise Miller, and watching this community grow under the leadership of our congressman, the amazing Speaker Adrian Adams, Donovan Richards, Denise, our amazing Attorney General, Letitia James, Damani Williams, and I can see everyone in the mask, Sister Hyman, lovely, all this whole team of people. And now the legacy is being passed on to an amazing queen that's going to do this, Sister Williams. Her role with the Black and Puerto Rican Caucus, her role in fighting for justice, and her role of just being an amazing leader, coming from, her mom raising her as a single parent. And it seems like that's on all of our bios, on how our mothers pour so much into us. And we are just here to continue their legacy. You look at their knees, you see the scars from being on their knees praying, hoping for a better tomorrow. And when I think about, Sister Williams, just blocks from here, 103rd Precinct, walking through the steps, you know, and them laughing at mommy at her clothing, operating state, and saying that I would never be anything. And, you know, just to aspire and reach the points that we are. And, you know, just watching this leadership in the room, we need to just really seize the moment. And just in general as a city, but specifically as Black and brown people. Specifically. And we need to be clear on that. It's not, you know, just denying others, because if we lift us all, we're going to all live together. But the power that Black and brown people have right now in this city is unprecedented power. Unprecedented power. And if we don't take advantage of that, if we don't take advantage of, you know, having Greg Meeks as the chair of foreign affairs, just think about that. This brother can talk in Africa and how the continent has been denied for years, and bring them to the table. I don't know if you've been watching what Sister James has been doing. She has been beating Trump up so much, man. I mean, winning on behalf of the pharmaceutical industry, bring billions to the city and state. Jamani Williams' voice of what Sister Adams is about to do in running the city council, being a leader with her partners in the city council. This is unbelievable where we are. And now I have a soldier like Sister Williams. You could not have made a better pick than having her as your council person. Politics is a local battle. And dealing with these issues is going to need someone who has her feet and ear on the ground. There will never be another mayor that's going to empower local elected officials the way I'm going to do so. Even those who write me off are going to the end of their term is going to say that was our cat. That was our cat. And sister, you are going to be empowered. No agency in the city will ignore your calls. When you call the Department of Sanitation, they better pick up your call. When you call your precinct, that precinct commander better return your call. When you call homeless services, they better return your call. When I sit down with my team and tell them, you better return the calls of my local elected officials, because I was there and I was ignored. I'll be damned if you're going to be ignored as you run your community. And let me conclude with this. An 18-year-old baby was shot and killed in Brooklyn. I called my whole team together today. And you know why? Congressman, I made them do a profile. 18 years old. 11 years old, his mother called the city and said, I need help. When he was 11. Said, I need help. We didn't give that 11-year-old help. And you know what happened? Every year you saw him going through the system until he reached the point of being charged with murder, until he was murdered. Homelessness. He was in just about every homeless shelter you can mention. Dropped out of school. Moving around from District 75 to location to location. You look at his profile, and you'll see, as we have been accumulating the profile of those who are known trigger pullers in this city, and you'll see the same profile, and I challenge you to go across the country, you're going to see the same profile of young Black and brown boys that have been abandoned by this country. And if we don't stop that abandonment, let me tell you something. If you don't turn off the faucet, I don't care how big the sink is, it's going to continue to overrun with violence in our community. And that's what this is about. This is about going in and stopping the violence and stop feeding the violence. But we also have to be honest and real about those who are on our streets right now that's creating violence. We got to stop that violence. That's a duality that I'm trying to do. And I need your help, sister, to do it. We got to stop the Eric Adams of today from going down the pathway of violence and put him on the pathway to become the mayor of the city of New York. I'm committed. You are committed. Queens is going to have one of the best city council persons. I know your heart and I know your spirit, and I look forward to being your partner. Thank you so much for allowing me to be here.
Once again, the mayor of New York City, Eric Adams. We're so happy to have our mayor speak truth to power and to make it here today to be a part of this very special ceremony. Councilwoman Williams, I know that you will hold them accountable to everyone answering the phone when you call. Now, we're going to introduce again, he's just that nice, we have to say it twice, Congressman Gregory W. Reed.
After that powerful speech, a public advocate whispered in my ear, might have made a mistake, let him go first. But anytime you see, I'm so proud of the mayor and the job that he's doing. He's going to be a transformational mayor. A transformational mayor. And what does that mean for Southeastern Queens and the city of New York? My Lord, we are in the best shape that we've ever been to transform this community, this city, this state, and this nation. And when you think about where we are, I'm so proud to be the congressman of the 5th Congressional District. That's right. And this young lady is my council member. But let's just think about where we are. Had I told someone 5 years ago, 10 years ago, that we would have a combination in City Hall of Adams and Adams, they may not have believed me. And when I had told them that when we look out at Queens, that Donovan Richards would be the borough president. And when you look at Savannah Brooks Powers, in the city council, and I bring her up because when I think of Councilwoman Nantasha Williams, they teamed up. But let me tell you something, and this is why I'm proud of my councilwoman. She was taking care of the caucus in Albany. She had done that. She was running for office. And she didn't care, didn't look, came out, she was knocking on everybody's door. You could tell someone who wants to work hard when they're going door to door to door to door to talk to people. So one day my doorbell rang. This is my company. My doorbell rang. This is a first race. My doorbell rang. I opened the door, and she was shocked to see it was me. So she was just going by to make sure that she was communicating, hardworking. And then I had the opportunity just to listen to her debate and watch and then ask questions. And what I learned at that time, that how much she really cared for this community and cared for people. How she wanted to make a difference in the community. How she just wanted to make sure that people's quality of life was better. And that she felt that she had something to give. And she needed to connect with people to make that happen. I was so impressed.
And what's also important, my first time I ran for office, I lost that first race. And sometimes when you lose a race, you disappear. I mean, to me, sometimes that's a test. The test is whether you just want a title or whether you want to make a difference. Whether you just want to make sure that you have something in front of your name or whether you really care. Because once you lose, sometimes, if you don't care about the community, you don't see the community anymore. You disappear. That wasn't Natasha Williams. She stayed in the community. She looked for and made sure that she could find avenues so that she could contribute to the community and make a difference in the community. And then she saw the largest investment in this borough taking place at JFK Airport. And the opportunities for the community to be intricately involved in it, to create jobs and to transform their lives. Now she knew that that's going to be something where folks will be continuously coming to her to ask for those opportunities. And I can tell you, the team of Sylvania and Natasha got together and they became the voice of the people to the Port Authority to make sure that the people had a voice in what was taking place at the airport. And so when the opportunity came, she stood up again. She spoke out. And one of the things that she did, she united. She was bringing people together from all different areas of the community. She was talking and working. And now, as it would happen, first the people rewarded her because they trusted her with their representation in the city council, because the city council is the base of which all of quality of life in the city of New York comes from. And so they said, Natasha Williams, we need you to now utilize all that you have learned and all that you have done to help us. And she's hit the ground running. So much so, I know the speaker has already made her chair of criminal justice. And civil rights. And civil rights. Which is right important, because when the mayor was talking about keeping us safe and making it doable, we need to make sure that we have a criminal justice system that's working and not violating somebody's civil rights. You can do both. And the speaker has empowered her to lead that committee to make sure that we who live in Southeastern Queens have both and improve our quality of life. So I say to you, as I see this great turnout at a critical time in our history, a critical time in the history of the city of New York and of course of this district. And we know that our brother, Denique Miller, and this is what this is all about. It's about like passing a baton. Denique Miller came on and did his thing, following what Leroy Comrie did, following what Archie Spigner did. It's a baton that is passed and we continue to grow. And we've seen things happen. And so in Natasha Williams now, she's got this baton in her hand, and it's her time to run with it, and it's her time to make a difference, and it's her time to represent this community, and she's going to do it, and I'm so proud that she is now part of our team. Our team. Because in the end, what this is really all about is that we make the quality of life better today
than it was yesterday or today. So Natasha, I'll leave you with this. And it's something that I live by. You know, the people in Southeastern Queens have blessed me for a long period of time, have trusted me for a long period of time to represent them in Washington, D.C. They've trusted me, but they've always had my back. And I'm telling you, the job that you're going to do, the people of Southeastern Queens will have your back. You just go and speak your truth, and we will have your back. And so I leave you with the advice that my mother left me. Always remember who you are. Always remember where you came from. And always remember the people who got you to where you are. And that's these people right here. Thank you. And God bless each and every one of you.
Thank you, Congressman Meeks. And at this time, we're going to have another dance performance before our other special guests greet you today. And that will be by the DeVore Dance Center. Let's give them a round of applause as they come forward. We can do better than that. They brought the spirit of our ancestors rejoicing with us on this day as a daughter of our native son, Jesus community. Yes, that's who we are. This is Black History Month, and we can remind one another that we came from kings and queens. Our story did not begin with slavery. So we know that our ancestors are rejoicing as we just witness the best work that they are doing through us. Let's give the Lord Dance Center another round of applause. And it is Heart Healthy Month, so I think I might need to do a workout with that. Okay, great. Now we're going to continue moving forward with some more greetings from our special guest today. We are joined by New York City Comptroller Brad Lander. Let's receive him with a round of applause.
All right, let's hear it one more time for those dancers and drummers. That was really bringing the spirit into this room. So thank you guys so much. It really is an amazing honor to be here to celebrate Nantasha Williams. I first want to say how delighted I am to be back at your college. Thank you, Dr. Eames. The last time that I was in this room was for the inauguration of Councilmember Adrian Adams. And that was a beautiful event. Oh, wow, how amazing it is to be back here with Speaker Adrian Adams. Feeling the power of Southeast Queens rise up in our city at this time, to have the son of Southeast Queens as mayor, to have the daughter of Southeast Queens as speaker, to have Donovan Richards as borough president, and Sabina, and to be here with Denise as we are inaugurating Nantasha Williams. It is powerful, and what I want to say is, and I really want to follow behind the mayor on this, it's not just a question of fairness or justice or equity that Black folks and folks in Southeast Queens deserve their space in our city. It's that it is when Southeast Queens and places like it are leading, that is the only chance we have to deliver on the idea of inclusive multiracial democracy. that is what will make the city work for all of us, for my kids in Park Slope, for folks all around the city. This city will thrive when folks like Nantasha are leading it, and when young people like the ones we just saw can see themselves as its business leaders, as its artists and creators, as its mayor and public advocate and congress member and speaker and council member. That is the city that we all desperately want to live in. It will be better for every one of us, and it is moving forward because of folks like Nantasha Williams. Like the congressman, I have a Nantasha Williams campaign story, because the Sunday before the primary election, I went to New Jerusalem Worship Center, and they were polite to me. You know, I got a church gig. I tell the story of how, you know, despite expectations, the first comptroller in history is the biblical Joseph in Genesis 41. You know, 7 years of plenty, and you save for the 7 years of famine. And they laughed politely at my church jokes. And there were a lot of other candidates in that district. I think this is one thing. This was a hard-fought council seat. There were a bunch of other good candidates. Nantasha was not the one that had the backing of lots of the institutional partners. And that day in church, several others of them spoke. And they all got some applause as well. But then Nantasha gets up, and the whole church is coming down at that point. You knew that day in that church who was going to win that election, because you knew who was rooted and grounded in this neighborhood, who had been doing the work. And you can really see it in the work you've done to make sure folks get jobs at JFK, that practical, pragmatic, making sure you're delivering for your constituents, but also fierce leadership for justice in your work, leading with the Women's March, leading with Until Freedom, helping stand up and support the family of Breonna Taylor. That is like work standing up, speaking truth to power, fighting for justice. You got the pragmatic side, you got the fighting for justice side, you got the working inside the government side with the caucus. It is very rare you get a leader with that full package from the community, really pragmatic, fighting for justice, knowing how the levels of government work. So it is no surprise. Although I will say, I was still a little surprised by how overwhelming that primary victory was. And then I texted, and I thought, was like, all right, I was maybe just a little bit surprised as well. But it's because you earned it, because that's who you are, and you can already see it in the ways you were doing the work. In the fall, we had a town hall at the Harvest Room, just a few steps from here, over 100 people out there, coming out to say, hey, you know what's injustice? Is that there's illegal dumping in our neighborhood and nobody does anything about it, and we don't get the sanitation resources that we need. So I know you're going to take advantage of that offer that Eric Adams gave you to make sure they're working. Or, you know what's injustice is a sewer system that floods people's homes, and nobody can come out and be straight with people about what we're going to do about it and make sure it doesn't happen again and give people the redress they deserve. But boy, after that town hall, you better believe that though she was there the whole time and very friendly the whole time afterwards, she was like, it's wonderful you're out here, and you better believe I'm gonna hold you to the set of things that you told people in that room. And it is that kind of, like, that big smile and that fierce fight for accountability that is gonna make you just a tremendous leader. And I can't wait to work with you and this community to see how you deliver on all that promise. Congratulations, Nantasha.
Thank you so much to our New York City Comptroller, Brad Lander, and now we're going to hear from our New York City Public Advocate, Jamani Williams.
Peace and blessings, everyone. How you doing? Peace and blessings, love and light to you all. Man, listen. I'm excited to be here. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. Nantasha, that was some amazing performances that we saw here. You know, I have to say to the comptroller and to Attorney General, they keep talking about Brooklyn. They're not doing too bad out here in Southeast Queens. They're not doing too bad out here in Southeast Queens at all. And I have to say that because my wife is from Southeast Queens. Maybe a sense of greetings as well. This is just simply amazing. You know, where I represented in East Flatbush is not that very different. There's some cultural and regional differences, but not very different from Southeast Queens. And I always say that because the things that I fight for and the things that Nantasha fight for. People are always confused who it is we're fighting for. Then they come to our districts and see the homeowners, see the working class folks, the people, the immigrants who fought up to the middle class, and they understand what they're fighting for. They understand that people don't want their trash in the streets. They also don't want bullets going through their windows. They also don't want policing that's not accountable and transparent. And we can have all of those things. And when I look out and I see so much black and brown power, I see, of course, our comptroller and DA add some color to that. We appreciate it. But this is what we wanted. This is what we said we needed. So we can't let everybody down. We have to make the changes that we said we were going to make. And I believe that in Nantasha Williams, we found the person who's going to do that. I know that we found the person who's going to do that. And I want to tell you, Nantasha, don't let go of that. Please, sometimes, having been here over a decade, you can get jaded about what's going on. You can feel the pressure when you get those phone calls. But I tell you, stay true to the way you came in. Stay true, remembering your constituents. Stay true, remembering that you've always stood up and fought against what was not right and the injustice. And that will be the way. They told me a lot of times things I couldn't do. And I thank God I walk with the Most High. I know you do as well. He will guide you through that journey and make sure you make it through. It's very important because we are at a cusp right now in New York City. And I was thankful, that sometimes the media plays up some differences, but I'm hoping they begin to play up the commonalities in what the mayor is talking about and how we have to fight this gun violence. Because there's a lot more in that plan that we agree on than we differ on. And it's important, as it's pointing out, where we have to focus and who we have to focus on to attack that violence in the way that we have to attack it. And I know that Nantasha is going to stand strong. I mean, I'm making sure I put that in there, so I know people leave it out. Right? I'm making sure I put that Nantasha. And I know we have somebody who can stand up and stand strong in the city council. I am so proud of you and this new council that's coming in. The energy that's being put forth is amazing for this city. Because as I mentioned, we are at a cusp. Communities are demanding, like every other community, to have safer streets and better policing at the exact same time. They deserve it and they can have it. I've been to too many funerals. I've been to those of police officers who were killed by gun violence. I've been to those for civilians who've been killed by police officers. I've been to those civilians who've been killed by other civilians. And the pain looks the same in all of those funerals. And we have to remember that as we go forward, that we can't have safety, we can't have peace, and we can't have justice. And I know, Southeast Queens, that Nantasha is the one to help us fight for that. But I'm going to ask y'all to do me a favor. Y'all with me? Don't walk away now. You brought it here. Sometimes you bring us here, and we look behind, and when there's no one else there. And it is tough when you get those phone calls. And it is hard when people are putting pressure on you. And it's easier to stand up for you when you turn around and the people who brought us here are still behind us. So don't let go. Continue praying. Thank you so much. Peace and blessings. Love and knowledge.
Thank you again to our hardworking New York City public advocate. And now we have the pleasure of hearing from the historic, and I just have to say it again because she is my girlfriend, but the historic Speaker of the New York City Council, my first time to introduce her in public. Let's put our hands together for Speaker Adrienne Adams.
Sing, Adrienne, sing.
No, Tish. Tish is not that kind of day. You didn't just do it. Good afternoon, Southeast Queens family. My goodness. I'm having a great moment right now, Jamani. Started from the bottom, now we're here, kind of thing. Just happening, man. Just happening, man. It's just happening right now. I am so inspired by the energy, Alicia. I'm so inspired by our community, Donovan. I'm so inspired
by the power of Southeast Queens, Nantasha. I am so inspired right now by the 110th mayor who happens to be the second Black man. That's right. Who sits on the other side of City Hall, where we can say together that we are a co-equal branch of governance, Adams and Adams, as Black people in the city. What? Ooh, I'm so inspired, Melinda. I'm so inspired. You know, I just have to say this before I tell you how great man is. Eric and I, as a lot of you know, were at Bayside High School together. If you find the yearbook, we're in the same yearbook. In the class of, the same yearbook. Somebody told me to stop saying that to mommy. Like, now he will go to the okay, but we're in the same yearbook. And I have to harken back to the time when we were at Bayside together, in those late 70s. It looked a lot different then, Nan. We were not in representation as people of color at Bayside when Eric and I were there. We had to overcome a lot of things at Bayside High. We had to overcome some inequity. We had to overcome some injustices. We had to overcome where Key Club was white Key Club, Arista was white Arista. In other places, you know what I'm saying. Concert Chorus was white Concert Chorus, which I happened to be a part of. But there was an opportunity to create. And so when we see opportunity as people of color, the thing about us is that we are going to find that road to create. We're going to find that avenue to create. And I'm really, really proud that where there was no gospel choir, Jamani, I'm a co-creator of the gospel choir at Bayside High School. So Tish, I'm not gonna sing gospel today, but I just thought I'd share that with you, a little bit tricky. So there was once a young lady who ran for assembly. She was knocking on doors, as another young lady who was running for Senate was knocking on doors in the same place. And as I looked behind me, I saw this beautiful young lady in this business suit, with this gentleman walking with her, knocking on doors across the street from where I was knocking on doors. And it was an amazing moment in time. And I looked at her and I said, wow, she's going places. She's gorgeous. And she's going places. She's representing this community and she's going places. Little did I know that both of us were to be going places and end up in the same place. So when I tell you that I'm inspired today, man, I'm inspired by you. I'm inspired by this new incoming class that represents the most diverse city council ever in the city of New York. I'm inspired by a city council who has a majority of women led by a grandmother. I'm inspired as I recognize my colleagues here, mine and Dan's colleagues here, Councilmember Mercedes Narcisse is here, Councilmember Eric Botcher is here, Councilmember Crystal Hudson is here, Councilmember Chi Osei is here, Councilmember Linda Lee is here, Councilmember, who did I see? Farrah Lewis. Farrah Lewis is here. Councilmember
Brooks Powers.
Lynn Shulman is here. Councilmember Savita Brooks Powers is here. Councilmember Althea Stevens is here. I mentioned Crystal. Did I leave anybody? Sandra Ung is here, representing Flushing. Kevin Riley is here. Councilmember Kevin Riley on the sideline. Julie Long is here. Justin Brandon is here. Her boo is here. From Brooklyn. The boo from Brooklyn is here. So we are here representing all of the boroughs that love Nantasha Williams. But Southeast Queens, nobody loves you like your family does, just saying. So when we come out and represent our Nantasha, we come out here and we represent us as a family of Queens, as a whole family of Queens. Brooklyn, Bronx, Manhattan, Staten Island is here in spirit somewhere too, so we're not gonna leave them out. That's right, that's right, that's right. So we're representative of each other as a body of Queens, representing the diversity of New York and representing the pride of a nation. Congratulations, my beautiful sister.
Can we give another round of applause to Madam Speaker, Adrienne Adams. So before we hear from our next two speakers, we want to acknowledge some of those that you haven't heard but are here in the room supporting and representing today. So we have some of the folks who are on the ground helping to get the work done. When a candidate is out and about doing the work of the district, we want to recognize some of our council members as well as our district leaders, our assembly members who are here. So let's start with our state assembly members, Clyde Bunnell, Esquire, Assembly Member Khalil Anderson, Assembly Member David Wetman, and you will hear from Assemblywoman that was behind me a little later, but we can still hear her out. We have our state senate represented as well, State Senator Leroy Comrie, State Senator James Sanders, and I believe State Senator John Liu and State Senator Jamal T. Bailey. They were here, but let's give them a round of applause. They had to move on to some additional commitments today. And our speaker mentioned some of those who were here from City Council. We'd like to also just say thank you for coming. Eric Rocher, Kevin Riley, Marjorie Velasquez, Althea Stevens, Amanda Ferreras, Sandra Ong, Linda Lee, Julie Wong, Lynn Schulman, of course our very own Savita Brooks Powers, Crystal Hudson, Chio Say, Sandy Nurse, Justin Brannon, Kamal Yeager, Farrell Lewis, Mercedes Narcisse. Let's give them a round of applause. And we are also fortunate to have our former council member here with us, Denise Miller. Let's give him a round of applause. And we have district leaders, Patrick Jenkins, Yvonne Reddick, Jill Bunch, Jean Phelps, Carmen Kalu, Leroy Manuel, and Aaron Ambrose, state committee members as well. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you all for your support in being here today. And we're going to continue hearing from a few more of our elected officials. Another hardworking public servant, my dear brother, Queens Borough President Donovan Richards.
Woo! Feels good to be home. Southeast Queens in the house. It don't sound like it. Southeast Queens in the house. We've come this far by faith. Today I'm reminded of a giant we lost last year. Someone who broke barriers, someone who paved the way for many of us. And he represented this very district that Nantasha Williams has assumed. I think of Archie Spigner today. And how proud he would be, Congressman, to see Southeast Queens arrive. It's mentioned the speaker. Do y'all understand the power in this room? The speaker of the city council is from Southeast Queens. Then I look out and I'll see our foreign affairs chairman, someone who just got back from Ukraine. I was in Ukraine a few months ago. Congressman Gregory Meeks. History, first black man to be the foreign affairs chairman. But today is really a historic day because we get to see a woman, the first woman to represent District 27, Nantasha Williams. The first woman in history to represent District 27. And when you think about what's going on, there's something going on. There's something in the water in Southeast Queens. All of the city council seats are run by women. And they all give me a hard time already. Nantasha came in busting down the door. Where's my money, Borough President? Let's talk about that community board seat. But it's truly an honor because Nantasha is representative of so many things. She's a disruptor. Let me say that again. Nantasha is a disruptor. I was sworn in 2013 on this very seat, and not your seat, but a different seat, city council seat. And I'm reminded of folks like James Sanders, who took no prisoners, didn't get along just to get along. It was about ensuring that the people who sent us here are represented. Nantasha was also just, I believe, elected co-chair of the Queen's delegation. There's power in this room. But as the chairperson now of Civil and Human Rights, there's no greater person I could think of to lead us during this turbulent time. Think about all of the rights in this country, in the city and state under attack. Immigrant rights under attack. Think about the injustices on Rikers Island. How it costs $500,000 to house one person on Rikers Island a year. Think about what we could do for with this money. Imagine if that money went back into education or back into York College. Think about that. That's why we need a civil rights chair right now, Nantasha Williams. There's been a lot of talk in these recent days about policing. And yes, we support our police. We support good police. Nobody in this community is anti-police. We're anti-police brutality. And that's what Nantasha will stand for. Think about the challenges around housing and inequities that we see as Denique Miller and I and Adrian fought very hard to ensure that the city put $2 billion into infrastructure investment for Southeast Queens, but the work is not done. York College is pumping millions of gallons of water a day, and we need to resolve this water table issue once and for all, and I know Mandy Kaufman will say and agree with that. So today is a joyous day, but the work begins tomorrow. Nantasha, congratulations. I'm so proud of you. Continue to stay focused. Continue to keep your eye on the prize. There will be a lot of distractions. There will be times when you feel challenged. There will be times when you question, why the heck am I doing this? But know that this district, that this county stands with you each and every day. Know that we're proud of you. Know that you're going to continue to break those barriers. Continue to keep God first, young lady, and you'll go far. God bless you all. Congratulations. Southeast Queens in the house. District 27, Queens, get the money.
Thank you, Borough President. And yes, you're right. There is a lot of power in this room. You will hear the actual swearing in by one of the women wielding the power that we love in our New York Attorney General, Nantasha James. But you will hear from her later on. But we are fortunate to see how women lead, because we know who runs the world. And with that, it gives me great pleasure to introduce our Queens District Attorney, Melinda Katz, another power-wielding woman in the borough of Queens.
Dr. Stacy N.E. Grant, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Stacy, I love those glasses. I'm a little jealous, I have to tell you. Congratulations, Councilwoman Williams. I want to acknowledge today my Chief of Staff that's here, Camille Chinky-Fat. She's somewhere. I asked her to come up front, but she's always watching my back somewhere. So Camille Chinky-Fat, thank you. To all the elected officials, to Councilwoman Williams, to our speaker, Speaker Adams, who always delivers amazing words. And, Councilwoman Williams, it occurred to me as I was sitting there, I know a lot of folks in this room, including you, from different walks of life, right? I was the Borough President Donovan Richards is continuing to give out the money. I was a colleague with Attorney General James in the City Council. And I know you through the many activities that you have done through the years, either with the Black, Latino, Hispanic Caucus and Asian Caucus, or through the Port Authority when we were working on reentry programs and second chance programs to make sure people in Southeast Queens were employed while the JFK airport was going up. But I was particularly touched today by the comments of your being the chair of the Civil Rights Committee. I'm the district attorney of this county, and I can tell you that you can have safe streets and a fair and equitable justice system at the same time. And there are those out there that will try to convince you that you can't, but you can. And in my office, we call it brave justice. I call it a steady hand through turbulent times. You have elected officials that are talking about the fact that you will get calls. And let me tell you something, you will get calls. I get calls every day. Hello. See, they don't want me to talk. I get calls every day. Everyone should be either out of jail, everyone should be prosecuted. You know what? A steady hand. Brave justice. You stand up to those, you follow the facts, you do what you know is right. It is the reason that my office can go and make sure drivers of crime, those shooters on the street, those individuals that will bring guns in from Alabama or South Carolina, come up and sell them to our children. And I can make sure that those individuals, drivers of crime, are prosecuted, but you know what? I need to make sure the next generation is not picking up those same guns that we just got off the street. And that's why we need to do youth programs and mentorship programs, and my office put out $2 million in youth wraparound services to make sure that people know that there are those that care, that there are mentors. And as Eric Adams said, our streets need to be safe. But I know as the Civil Rights Chair, you'll make sure we have equity in the system and equity in the streets. I just met with President Biden and the other 4 district attorneys and U.S. attorneys and all of those agencies that have a lot of alphabet or letters in them. And President Biden made sure and was very clear that in order to have safety on the streets, you have to do everything from make sure there is fair and equitable policing to programs to keep young folks out of our criminal justice to begin with, because that's the safest you're ever going to make the borough of Queens County, is when we don't end up in the criminal justice system to begin with. But Councilman Williams, I'm extremely amazed to see your path. I am excited to see your path. And I know that you will continue to do great things in the City Council. I can't wait to start working every single day with you and with what your mission is on the City Council. Thank you for allowing me a few minutes of time.
Thank you so much to our district attorney. Let's give her another round of applause. And now we're going to have another performance highlighting more young people in our talent in District 27. We have Cardoza High School Performing Dance Group. As they're assembling and moving forward, we also want to remind you of all of the great and wonderful programs that are here at your college. There's information as you leave. This is our anchor institution. So be aware of everything that is available for our young people to pursue. A lot of great development here and infrastructure changes. So educate yourself on the great job that Dr. Eads and the entire staff is doing. Can we give the York College community a round of applause? They have opened up the York red carpet for us today. So we're grateful that we can be here in the room. And we also love the fact that in our audience, we have an intergenerational group of representation from the district. It takes all of us in order to answer the challenges that we see. And I truly am warmed in my heart to look out and see our seniors who have been here before. They have stayed the course. And it's always a moment for me to acknowledge those who came before, because I wouldn't be standing here if I were not standing on the shoulders of those who came before. So let's take a pause from the program. Those elders that can stand, can you please stand so we can salute you for your leadership, for your service to District 27, for coming out today. They're making their way up. Take a look around the room. Look at those who are standing. We salute you today. Were it not for you, your work, your wisdom, your sacrifice, our councilwoman would not be able to take this home. So we salute our elders and we appreciate you being here today. So now we're going to move straight in to our performance from Cardoza High School. Let's give them a round of applause.
I've been walking with my face turned to the sun. Weight on my shoulders, a bullet in my gun. Oh, I got eyes in the back of my head, just in case I have to run. I do what I can when I can, when I can for my people. While the clouds roll back and the stars fill the night, that's when I'm gonna stand up, take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home, far across the river. Can you hear freedom calling, calling me to answer? Gonna keep on keeping on. I can feel it in my bones. Early in the morning, before the sun begins to shine, we're gonna start moving towards that separating line. I'm waiting through, you know I gotta make it on mine. And I don't mind if I lose any blood on the way to salvation. And strength that I got until I die. So I'm gonna stand up, take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home. Far across the river, you hear freedom calling, calling me to answer. Gonna keep on keeping on. And I know what's around the bend might be hard to face 'cause I'm alone. And I just might fail, but I know I'll try. Shine stars in the sky. Stand up, take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home. Far across the river, can you hear freedom calling, calling me to answer? Gonna keep on keeping on. I'm gonna stand up, take my people.
That was amazing. We can do a better job giving them a round of applause. Stand up, Cardoza High School. That was incredible. So everyone has done a fantastic job today as we move the program along, but we're going to have a short musical interlude before we hear from our keynote speaker and the moment we have been waiting for, the actual swearing in of our councilwoman. So now I turn it over to the Bartlett Contemporary.
Thank you so much, and we just want to say that we are so happy and so glad and excited to be here. And Natasha, we just wish you the best, and just glad to be here. So we're getting ready to do what we're going to do. You make me happy. This you can pay. So right beside me, yeah. I won't forget. I really love you. You wanna make you right, girl. Yeah. Before I go. Now we've had a good time. Oh, yeah. I won't be going, no. I got to go. Gonna make you right, girl. know I think that I need a shine on you. Yeah. You know it's nothing, nothing that I would not do.
As you enjoy the music, we still have 30 minutes to go in the program, so don't put on your coats yet, just enjoy the partners.
All right.
All right, see, here's the challenge for giving a musical issue in our community. Think that the program is over. It is not over, so everyone please take your seats. That was a little musical interlude by the Bartletts. We're going to come right back when we really conclude the program. So all the selfie requests and photo requests, you got to hold on just a little longer. And I need everyone to please take their seats. To those viewing online, write your comments and congratulations. Our council member will be reviewing them. We need everyone to take their seats, please. All photos on hold. I don't want Coco to come out because if she comes out, it might be a little different for the inauguration. So I need everyone to please take their seats.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a please. Seats at this time. Please find your seats at this time. It's certainly appreciated. Thank you so very much.
Okay, our council member is going to take her seat. Our chief of staff is escorting her to her seat, so all photos will be on hold until after we're done. So thank you so much. I know everyone is excited. We want to greet our council member and each other. We've been shut in and shut away for a long time because of Omicron and all Omicron's friends. But I do need your cooperation at this time. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, can we have quiet in the house, please? Thank you so much. So at this time, I'll do like the school teachers, I'll wait. Thank you so much for your cooperation. So at this time in our program is one of the most special parts of why we are gathered here today. We have someone who is going to share a few words as our keynote for this afternoon's program. Someone who I love and adore, who I actually stood in the same role as she had her inauguration ceremony right here in the York College Atrium. A tireless worker for the borough of Queens, an advocate for education and resources to come into this part of our borough that she serves, a daughter of immigrants who understands what it means for women to lead, and someone who is thrilled to be able to greet you on this auspicious occasion. Please put your hands together for our very own Assemblywoman, Alicia Hyman.
I know y'all thought it was over, right? Because all this speaking that's going on, and I know Natasha just wants to do the work. So let me just say, I will be brief. I want to just give a shout out to Councilwoman Cook, whose district we're sitting in, and she has served this Southeast Queens community for over 30 years. And it's on her shoulders we stand as Black women in the gap in leadership. I also want to give a shout out to Miss Linda, Natasha's mom. You can't do this without our mothers, y'all. For those of us who still have our mothers, we understand that it's the mothers who be out there with you in the cold, knocking the doors or making sure that you're fed before you go out in these streets. So you all know Natasha's bio, and I just wanted to say that she is she's a proud member of the hardest working, community uplifting, team building, most inspiring, most beautiful, most prestigious sorority of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. In case you didn't know, I just had to make sure you know. And they are two members of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated serving on City Council. Selvina Howard Brooks and Natasha. And there's also two Deltas in the New York State Assembly, myself and Soror Rodney's Bishop. We also have mayors, district leaders, presidents, and union leaders, union leaders and other various positions throughout the state of New York. And now that we have redistricting is closed, I just want to give my hat off to the women of Delta Sigma Theta and social action, making sure that the community was well aware of where the district lines were, where they started and where they ended. Natasha is testimony that pretty little Black girls blossom into beautiful Black women. And a constant reminder that when God says it's for you, it's for you. She is the first woman to hold this council seat. And she comes with credentials. She worked for the Honorable New York State Assemblyman Fred Kamara, and later for the Honorable New York State Assemblywoman Diane Richardson, two Brooklyn legislators who often get their passport stamps here in the borough of Queens. But this wasn't her first rodeo. If you know, she did run for assembly for the seat that was vacated by the former and deeply departed Assemblywoman Barbara Clark. She came very close, and Clyde Bonnell, after his 5th try, my dear colleague, a real friend and hard worker, she could have sat back in the shadows, but she didn't. She went on to organize probably what I consider the beginning of the end of number 45 with the Women's March, where women all over the country went to Washington, D.C. and gave him his walking papers. So it makes sense to me why she is the chair of civil rights in the New York State City Council. I must say this, when Natasha ran the first time, I didn't support her. But what I saw was a work ethic and an establishment that didn't support her, but she made sure she did the work. I don't know if you understand how hard it is to run for office. Those of you over here who do and successful. But to say to yourself, I'm going to come back a second time and run again. It takes a lot of character to put yourself out there. And this time I said in the very beginning, I'm going to support you. Because I saw what it took and what you did, and I said, I want to make sure that as a big sister to you, I'm with you every step of the way. And not only did you win your seat, you left everyone in the dust. Look at the numbers, y'all. The numbers don't lie. We didn't need our ranked choice voting to tell us she won that seat. She won that night. She was the victor. Nantasha, you ran a phenomenal campaign, and I knew you had a lot to handle. Not only were you running the campaign and working for the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, being a daughter, being an active auntie, making sure that at least when she came with you to different events, you were there. I know you don't like people making a fuss, but this day, today, I know you're about to work. You said that a lot during the campaign. We acknowledge you today. You are the center of our attention today. We edify you. We send you on your way while holding your back as you transform this district and this city with equity and justice at the helm. Nantasha Williams is a council member of the 27th Council District. She is a partner to us all. And I have to say that when we all work together in Southeast Queens, we are the borough that brings the money. We are the changes you need to see. And for all the little black girls and little black boys in our classrooms all over the city who went to PS 176, IS 59, Cardozo High School, went away to college in Virginia and is back home to make sure that she brings it all back to this council district. It is an honor to serve with you. It is an honor to watch you grow, and I'm ready to do the work with you, and I got your back. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Assemblywoman Hyman. I knew I could leave it to you to make sure that the ladies of Delta San Mateo were represented. So congratulations again. It means a lot to have your sisters behind you. Let's give her a round of applause. And you have the D9 love from all of us. At this time, it gives me great pleasure to introduce someone that is no stranger to Southeast Queens, who has done an incredible job advocating for justice for the citizens of New York State. We are so proud of you and your leadership. We will always have your back in Southeast Queens, and you're going to give us some remarks before you have the honor of swearing in our council member. Let's give a round of applause to New York Attorney General Letitia James.
There was a little girl who sat next to me on the front row where VIPs sit. Ivana Fenton, where did you go? Ivana? Well, anyway, she's 10 years old. She's in the 5th grade. And I asked her, what would you like to be when you grow up? She said, a city council member. And then after that, she's setting her eyes on the Attorney General. God bless her. That's better. Every great dream begins with a dreamer. And Natasha, you have within you strength and passion and courage. And you have the ability to change the world. Dare to be powerful. And dare to be deliberate. And do not be afraid. Natasha, when you walk into a room, make sure you own it. And when you walk into a room, remember that those who make history are rarely those who refuse to be quiet. Yeah. And Natasha, remember that most women who are polite don't make history. So don't be afraid of turning over chairs and tables on behalf of the residents of Southeast Queens. I stand in this position as the Attorney General because of Southeast Queens. And that's why whenever Southeast Queens calls me, I am there. And Natasha, as you look around your district and you see any bad actors or you see anyone who obviously needs to change their habits, just reach out to me because you know, like everyone knows, I just love a good lawsuit, right? And the secret to Natasha is to focus. She's focused all of her energy not on fighting the old, but on building the new. And as I look around this room, I see so many individuals who are new to politics and who are new to inaugurations. And so we've got to bring more people, more young people into the fold. And individuals who are old shouldn't be afraid of the young people because you bring a lot of energy and change into this establishment. So I welcome you, my sister. You represent Black Girl Magic. And whenever there's Black Girl Magic in the room, it empowers me, it empowers you, it empowers our city and our state. So may God continue to bless you always. We see so many elected officials in this room. It's because of your brilliance and because they know that you truly will be a leader. They know that you have been a lifetime public servant, that you didn't need an election to start serving others, that you have always followed the advice of the great John Lewis to make some noise and to get in good trouble. You understand that we are right now dealing with gun violence. You serve on the board of Life Camp, and we see the great Erica Ford in the back. And yeah, give it up for Erica. We all have to work together to address gun violence here in the city and the state of New York. And you know that when you walk into City Hall, you've got a long list of priorities that need to be addressed. Racial and economic injustice, gun violence, crisis in affordable housing, healthcare, economic development, small businesses, the pandemic. All of these issues and more fall on your shoulder. But you are in a city council which is led by another powerful Black woman, and a city council that's run by women. And so when women are in charge, we tend to get things done. And there's nothing more powerful than a woman with a made-up mind. So your mind is made up to change. And that's why I want to thank District 27, Cambria Heights, Hollis, Jamaica, St. Albans, Springfield Gardens, and Queens Village. You have sent some good trouble right into the heart of city government. And I want to congratulate the friends and family of this new city council member. And I also want to salute my very good friend, Council Member Denise Miller, for all that he has done. And so now, this is the moment that we've all been waiting for. I now call up to the stage the one and only, your council member, who I will have the honor and privilege to administer the oath. Councilmember Natasha Williams, please join us. Round of applause for our family members who are joining her as well. All of those with cameras, if you want to come down front, paparazzi. There's Ivana Williams. There she is. There's Ivana right there. Give her a round of applause. Our city council member in about 10 years. Okay, can all you just take one step back? Yeah. Okay, I'm ready. Quiet in the room, because I've got the power to issue a subpoena. Quiet. Please raise your right hand. Please put your left hand on the Bible, because she is a woman of faith, and faith will lead her through. And repeat after me. I I state your name. Nantasha Williams. Do solemnly swear. That I will support. The Constitution. Of the United States. And the Constitution. Of the State of New York. And the Charter. Of the City of New York. And that I will faithfully discharge. The duties of. The office of. Council member. Of the 27th Council District. In the Borough of Queens. And the City of New York. To the best. Of my ability. Congratulations, Council member. I now present to all of you, Councilmember Nantasha Williams.
We're going to take one photo as we bring our council member forward. Let's give our New York Attorney General a round of applause. How historic to have her swear in our council member. So as we take the photos, I'm sure that you have familiarized yourself with her website, her extensive bio, from being a community leader, a social justice advocate, a political organizer, affecting real change. We've heard the story of her being raised by a single mother who instilled in her values that we see demonstrated in her work. We've heard the stories of how she has been at the forefront of issues impacting women. I need everyone to just settle down for me, please. We're almost there. Fighting for the rights of women through the Women's March. Even during COVID, leading and participating as an ambassador for wellness, helping our seniors. And the list goes on and on. But today, I just want to tell you a personal story of why this occasion is so incredibly special to me. Just like Assemblywoman Alicia Hyman mentioned, when she ran for assembly, I didn't know who she was. I got a phone call from a mutual friend who has been her mentor, my little sister, Nika Mallory. And she told me about this candidate, and I said, wow, she sounds amazing. But at that time, I was helping my dear friend on his 5th try to become assemblyman, Clyde Burnell. So I was very vocal about the work I was doing to support him. But when I saw Nantasha sit on the stage in the debate and speak, the joy in my soul rose up. And I went to her after that debate, and I said, I'm clearly here for another candidate, but I see my future in you. Her poise, her passion, her conviction, it was intoxicating. And I told her on that day that she was the future for Southeast Queens, and she would have my support. And from that day till this day, I've watched her work tirelessly to raise the voice for those who don't feel they have one, to be bold enough to challenge status quo and to disrupt the normal in order to create the new. I've watched her be a dutiful daughter and an aunt, private moments that no one will ever see of her sacrifice and her dedication to the kind of values she was raised with. And she is not someone who likes the limelight. This is the most uncomfortable thing for her right now, to be front and center with attention. But I have come to adopt her as my little sis. I have always told her that I will be here to protect and support and have her back as everyone else has said. But words are words, actions speak louder. And today I hope that our council member has seen the actions of everyone who took time to be here today, of every elected member of our New York delegation that made their way here to tell you how proud we are of you. And now I ask that everyone in this building who is not already standing to get on your feet and to welcome for the first time in this public forum our newly inducted councilwoman of the 27th District of New York City, our very own Councilmember Nantasha Williams. We love you.
You guys can really sit. If you're really my friend, you know that I hate this stuff so much. And I'm super emotional, which I'm like, oh, I was like, not really get emotional, but a few things really touched me. I can't mess up my makeup. So I'm gonna try really hard. But I really, really am so humbled to see everybody here. All right. I'm like really overwhelmed. So the majority of my career, let me get myself together, I found comfort being in the shadows. I've supported so many great and amazing people, and I love that, you know? I'm like, I want to help you shine, like, let me know what you need. And for whatever purpose, whatever destiny on my life, I'm standing here before you as the council member for the 27th Council District. As many have said, yes, I am the first woman to hold this seat. However, I would be remiss if I didn't mention the many great men who came before me, whose shoulders I stand on. So the late Archie Spigner, Senator Lee Montgomery, and of course, our immediate past council member, Councilmember Isaac Miller. Yes, round of applause. And I know there was some other talks about, me not getting institutional support. But one thing I always say about Southeast Queens, as annoying as it can be sometimes, is that we really are a family. Like when the dust settles, we really do come together, and I really appreciate that. Everybody has really taken me under their arm and has been very supportive since I assumed this seat. So I just want to thank everybody in Southeast Queens, from the district leaders, to the state committee people. Thank you so much. At times, it feels surreal that I was awarded the ability to represent a community that has given me so much. Growing up, I remember attending the Grand Elite right across the street from the post office in Cambria Heights. It's no longer there, but good taste is there and other things. I also attended PS51, PS15, IS59, and of course the best high school in Queens, Benjamin and Cardozo High School. And I spent a good time and portion of my childhood in dance classes. So most of my friends come from dance classes. Dance is still very much life for me. And if I attempted to do what I saw earlier, I would probably pass out. This district, this borough is truly my home and has been my home for my entire life, except for a few stints in Richmond. So shout out to all my college friends that are here, and sorority sisters, and the Mighty Ada Talk chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. I know my line sisters are here. And as a current council member, I'm immensely grateful to represent my community. And again, it was already said, but just taking a trip down memory lane, I remember when I first made the decision to run for New York State Assembly in 2016, and boy was I naive, but I was passionate. I really, as the congressman said, I really wanted to do the work. So I wasn't really thinking about the politics. I didn't really know what I was doing. And when Madam Speaker spoke, I was like, oh, that's so right. We were running for office at the same time. But as things happen, time passes, you forget. And so, as our public advocate said, don't forget where you come from. And I really, really appreciated you mentioning that story, because I was also inspired when I saw you running for Senate, and then you did the same thing again, and here you are as Speaker of the EXP Council. So let's give you another round of applause. That's amazing. So
So I attended talk this weekend, and Donna Brazil said something, and I've said this 1,000 times. I'm like, I really believe this lady, but she had this speech during talk this weekend, and she's talking about people getting involved, people running for office, and she's like, if not you, who? If not now, when? So I'm like, I remember the assembly. As you all know, my council member that didn't work out. Shout out to Assembly Member Clyde Manel. But through that experience, I learned that politics is truly local. And so I had a real conversation with myself. I was a recent graduate of SUNY Albany, getting my master's. I came back home. Yeah, I'm from the community, but Southeast Queens, they're like, who is? She on a community board? Like, what church she go to? Who's her parents? And so that taught me a valuable lesson. And so, yes, we brave, run for office, but also, as I said before, what are you doing to actually do the work, right? Before you decide you want to represent a community, how are you investing yourself into the community regardless of the title? So I really, stayed grounded and did all that I could do to be a part of the community. Running for office at the same time was very hard. I prayed a lot. I talked a lot about it. Friends made stern talks. Tarika Morrison, Kenya, what are you doing? Get your life together. Are you running or not? And I'm like, I'm going to do it. And so I decided to run for the council, and it was very hard because we are naive. You don't really know what the hard work is. And so I knew, it's going to be so hard. I have to raise so much money. But after knocking over 7,000 plus doors in the bitter winter onto the scorching heat of the summer, I'll truly do it again and again if it means that I can serve this great community. Council District 27 is a unique community. It has such rich history. It has been home to many of the greats of our neighborhood, housed of individuals such as Jackie Robinson, James Brown, Lena Horne, Count Basie, etc. But this is only in the historic neighborhood of Addison Park, but we also have other legends like LL Cool J, Osaka, Run DMC, and more. We are a special community. We are a community that is tight-knit and functions very much like a family. Looking around the room today, I see so many of my constituents and community leaders and colleagues in government from all lives. Our diversity is so rich here, and Southeast Queens is truly a fluid, rich neighborhood. And although 27th Council District has borders, so our border with our speaker, our border with our majority whip, Southeast Queens doesn't know borders. So I am thrilled to be able to really serve the larger breast of Southeast Queens and to have some incredible government partners. Public service and activism has always been something I've been passionate about. Doing something greater than myself has always guided my work. It was instilled in me at a very young age, watching my mother, a social worker, her DC 37 ACS, local 371. And so seeing her in that job, providing much needed services to our community, reinstilled in me the need to care for others and to help improving other people's lives. I was inspired by that work, and I'm continuously motivated to live by that principle. Our community has seen dark days with the housing crisis, gun violence that still plagues our streets, different other injustices, you name it, racism, sexism, anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, and most recently the COVID-19 pandemic that we are still recovering from. But we are resilient. We have proved it time and time again. We have worked as a community to improve our foreclosure housing crisis. We have worked to also address issues around quality of life. And we, as a community, will continue to demand equity and justice. My extensive experience in government has prepared me to handle the many concerns that come into my office. I've already started coming a 1 month into the job. So, Councilmember Isaac Miller, you sure you left? You missed it? I began my career in government right after I graduated, and so I went from a communications director to a legislative director to being executive director, chief of staff, most recently working for the Port Authority. I've also done extensive community organizing work, and I believe that it's important that we organize the community so they can also be their own best advocate. My love for organizing and social advocacy led me to be the founder of the first political club for Black women in New York City. This idea stemmed from my time. I know I have some club members here, shout out to the club. And so this experience working for the Women's March really propelled me to think about what we're doing to serve our most marginalized women in the city. And I have lots of notes here, and I don't want to read all of these notes. I'm trying to say it because, as has been said, this is very uncomfortable, and I know y'all want to go home. I know y'all probably hungry. So it was also mentioned, I believe, by our comptroller, and I just want to shout out my Until Freedom family who always supports me. Tamika, Linda was here, my Tom, and Angela, I know Jamila Davis is here. And that type of work, and I'm very thankful to the speaker for appointing me as chair of the Civil and Human Rights Committee in New York City Council. I hope to bring that energy to the council to make sure that every New Yorker, regardless of who you are, what you look like, who you love, that you have the dignity to live freely in our city. I look forward to working with our agencies and my colleagues to address the many challenges New Yorkers face because of what they look like. I ran because this community means everything to me. When I was a member of the community board, I was vocal about the issues that I saw when it came to economic development in our streets and improving the quality of life for our residents. As council member, these are the issues I'm looking forward to addressing with our community board, civic organizations, and other stakeholders. I want to foster an accessible, responsive, and transparent office where the community feels that their concerns are heard and that they know there's an open door policy. I want to work collaboratively with our constituents through a community captain initiative that I'll be rolling out soon. I am incredibly optimistic about the great things that we will accomplish together. Again, I would also like to publicly thank Councilmember Isaac Miller and his team for their leadership and smooth transition and continuing the great work of the 27th Council District. I also want to take this time to acknowledge my colleagues who will be on the front lines with the friendly face to the community, my community liaisons, Rasha and Kate, Anne Marie, my communications director, Ine, my budget and legislation director, Everton, and my chief of staff, Ashley. Now, I would be completely disowned if I didn't shout out the members of my transition team who worked incredibly hard to make sure I had the smoothest transition possible and assisted in coordinating this event. Amir Abadi, who not only worked on my transition committee, but also knocked almost all of those 7,000 doors and believed in me in many ways when I didn't believe myself out there in the cold. Jamila Pringle Fines, Kenya Townsend, Tarika Morrison, who I mentioned, my best friend, who's always in my corner. I'll just get a push up. Sometimes you have people in your life that tell you what you want to hear. And you have people in your life that tell you what you need to hear. And Tarika has always been that friend. Avery Jones, my vice sister, who I hate all the time. Jermaine Smith, one of my fellow candidates. And one thing I say about my race, I know people say, yes, I dusted the competition, but I don't speak that way because, quite frankly, every single person in my race is amazing. You know, there's races you like, oh, we know this person's gonna win because, you know, all these rest of these people is like, you know, whack, right? But not in my race. I mean, my race had lawyers. I mean, people that were organized for over 20 years, people that have been in the community for over 20 years. And so I'm actually humbled that I was able to win amongst such an amazing field of candidates. Manny Kaufman, our resident person who knows everything there is to know about Southeast Queens. Kaya Morrison, Zelani Plummer, Dr. Stacey N.P. Grant, who I also hate, my dictator over here, Philip Carteron, Jason Clark, who is another candidate in my race, Jonathan Logan, Julian Hoffenberg, Emil Washington, Mindy, my special Queen Salami, yes, and of course our transition chair, Frank Joseph. I'm almost done. I hope. Okay, I want to thank, of course, well, this is not last, but I want to thank my family for their endless support throughout this journey. I'm a lot to handle, and I couldn't have done it without them, especially my mom, who's tireless and self-controlled. provides the much necessary support. My grandma Nancy Williams, my uncle, Aunt Charlene, my sisters, two of my sisters are here. I don't know when I've had two of my sisters in the same place in a long time, so that's amazing. My dad who's here, and of course my baby niece Rosie, who is watching my every move and is our future. I also have my god sister, my godfather, and my godmom here. And lastly, of course, I want to thank Assemblywoman Alicia Hyman, who has been incredibly supportive from the start of this campaign. I love you. And I want to thank the incredible performers, the Bartlett Contemporary Band. Amazing. I'm very honored to have them here. This is truly a world-renowned band coming straight from our community, and so it's always an honor and privilege to kind of carry on the facade of you being a part of what is going on in the 27th Council District. Of course, Esoda, DeVore, yes, DeVore Dance Center, and Cardozo High School's performing dance class. And I just want to say one little thing. I grew up in dance, so I specifically, Ms. DeVore was my dance teacher. I was in performing at Cardozo. So it was a lot of full circle moments for me, and I also danced with Soda. So it's personal because I've been one of the students. I've been in African dance companies. I've been in a hip hop dance company. And so to sit here and see them perform for me made me very emotional. And I just thank y'all so much. And this is really last. This is it. This is really it. I want to thank you all, everybody that's seated here. I want to thank you so much for dedicating this amount of time on the Sunday to listen to all of these wonderful speeches and to listen to little old me, because I absolutely hate attention. And I also want to shout out and thank those who are joining us virtually. We did a little hybrid situation, so all of those tuning in virtually, thank you so much. And I really look forward to working together with all of you for the 27th Council District and for the City of New York. And now the real work begins. Thank you.
Wow, what an amazing inauguration. Give our Councilwoman another round of applause. Transition team, advisory, staff, we did it. And we have a special presentation. Okay, there's a Delta presentation. And then we're going to hear from the Bartlett Contemporaries, our world-renowned band, play us out. So all the sorors of Delta Sigma Theta are being called to the center. So we're going to allow them their special moment with our councilwoman, and then we'll be entertained by the band and make it home safely. Stay away from Omicron and its friends. Be safe, use wisdom, wear a mask, and thank you for participating online and here in person.
But if she wears the Delta symbol, first love is DSC.
Congratulations once again to our councilwoman and our sorors of Delta Sigma Theta sorority. From all the rest of us, we send our D9 love from Mount Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated, and of course, the brothers of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, Phi Beta Sigma, and Pi Iota Phi Theta. Thank you all for being here today. We're going to start the music with the Bartlett's. You can hire the Bartlett's Contemporary for your event. You can hire a Sota dance group. You can hire the Board Dance Center. You can hire Cardoza Dance Group right here in District 27. Take it away, Bartlett. Thank you so much. As you're leaving, make sure you grab a bag. We have gift bags for you as you're leaving.